Hey, thank you so much for joining me. Today we are doing a January favourites video with some updates as well. So let's just get straight into it. This is my philodendron micans that I feel like I might actually drop. Hang on. Got like a little hook. I'm gonna hold it by that. So yeah, this is my philodendron micans that I have had for years. I can't remember when I got this now. It must have been like, oh, it's actually really heavy. I'm gonna put it down. I think I got it maybe either 2018 or 2019. I'm not sure. And I know I've got a photo of it when I first got it. So I'm gonna put that in now for you to see. And as you can see, she's come a long way. She has absolutely just, she's doing the growing, she's doing the thing. There is a squirrel running around on the balcony and it's so distracting. She's doing the growing. I have noticed recently that like a lot of her new growth that is coming in is really tiny. It is like the winter, like it's winter growth. What is that? I thought we might have had a pest. We don't, there's no pests on here. But yeah, a lot of the new growth is really tiny and it is the winter, so that'll be why. So I will be doing some chopping and propping of her. There's a lot of it that like crawls back up and around. Like look how long this line is, but it was like tucked up here. I really do need to clean her up because underneath like all of this new scraggly growth, there are some amazing big leaves underneath, like similar to, I can't ever tell when I'm filming which ones are like the bigger ones in the front. Like, look at this one here. Like that's quite a decent size for a trailing micans plant. They are usually quite tiny. Where are some others? Oh, I don't know. But anyway, why is she my favourite? I think she's stunning. I do really love trailing plants. I love dark leaved plants. I love velvet plants. She's ticking all those boxes. She has got some gorgeous red backs to her leaves. Like they're just a stunning colour. The new growth comes out like a coppery, burnt orange kind of red, and then it hardens off and it's just stunning. She's stunning. She's looking a little bit of a mess right now. We are going to do some chopping and make her look a little bit better, but I'm really enjoying her. She sits up on a shelf up there and she just cascades down. She gets, how far away? She's probably about 10 feet away from my south facing windows, so she doesn't get any direct light. She gets, I guess, ambient light, bright, indirect, depending on the day. Like it's not a very bright day today, it's very overcast, so she seems to put up with wherever I put her, to be honest. But she could be in my favourite videos every month. I absolutely adore her. I think she's amazing. So yeah, just really appreciating her right now. I'm gonna put her back. I probably should say I don't know if you can see her actually. She's sat up on her shelf now. Can you see her? No, she's definitely not in the frame. I have cut her a few times. Obviously you would have seen her right at the beginning when I first got her. She was like, I don't know, 3-4 vines. I don't know how many there were in there. It's an absolute hot mess in that pot now. I'll probably do like a whole micans care video when I come to chopping her again, maybe. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. So my next favourite for January, this is in no particular order by the way, but my next favourite is this little plant. It's new. Apparently it is a Ludicea Dreamcatcher, a jewel orchid. I'm really not hot on all of the like jewel orchid names. I know there's loads of different types. I only have 2 at the moment. But I got this one 2 weeks ago from a garden centre called Riverside Garden Centre that's really quite local to me, and it was £11.50, which it feels like a lot for such a teeny tiny plant, but I know it's probably like, it's pretty on par for what jewel orchids cost as far as I can see at the moment. I'm going to get up close. Her leaves have got a little bit of muck on them and I need to figure out how to clean them because they're kind of like They're like velvety almost, but yeah, that's really mucky. This one's a newer one. She's definitely not perfect. She's got some rips. There's one down here, and then this is her biggest one. And as you can see, there's a new one on the way, which has been getting a bit bigger since I've got it. I just think she's really beautiful. There are some jewel orchids that I'm not a fan of. Like, I particularly like the kind of the rounder shaped ones. Really, really cute, really enjoying it. Really enjoying having a different kind of plants. Like I said, I've never had jewel orchids before other than the one that I got in December, and just intrigued. There's another one that I really would like. It's like a really dark leaf, like black, and the veining's like red. It looks like that's a very rare, a rare form. If I can find a photo of what I mean, I'll put it up. But that's beautiful. But yeah, really enjoying them right now. So that's that one. Up next is my other jewel orchid, the McCody's Emerald is what it says, and this was the one that I got like early December. Steve got it for me as a Christmas present, and it's been hanging out in a cloche in my cabinet. I did take it out of the cloche for a little bit, and it doesn't seem to like it. And I don't know, it like I haven't watered it, so I watered it and it didn't like pick up. So I was like, does it really need that? Does it need that extra humidity of being in a cloche? And I think it probably does. So I've got a little idea of what I'm going to do with both of these jewel orchids, but this one is just, since putting it back in the cloche, it's loving life. Some of the new little growth points down here are growing and they're stinking cute. It does have some globular springtails living in the cloche with it, which is like, it's fine. They're not like going to harm my plant. Like, springtails are good guys, but having had experience with globular springtails before, they multiply rapidly and like they're cute but really visible, and I'm just like, I don't really know if I want that many globular springtails hanging out in the cabinet. But anyway, I'm gonna get up close so you can see her. Look how pretty. I mean, they're such striking leaves, aren't they? So stunning. And like, look, you can see those little, oh, stop focusing on the big ones, hang on. I'll go to the weird gap at the back. You can see this little bit here. There's a new one down here. Like, I'm just so excited. They seem to grow really, really well. So I'm hoping I can, like, I don't know, chop and prop, get a real bushy babe going on. Up next in my January favourites is my Anthurium nigrolaminum GG, and I'm just really, like, every time I look in the cabinet, my eyes are drawn to these leaves, and it's not even, it's like not the biggest plant in my cabinet, but it is probably definitely the darkest. And yeah, I'm just really drawn to how dark and glossy these leaves are. I'm trying really hard to keep an eye on it, make sure it's doing okay. It does seem pretty stable. There are loads of new roots coming in, which is so exciting. Like, it's not just the plant I enjoy looking at. I love looking at Anthurium roots. I just find them so interesting. Like, sometimes they're different colours. Like, I love looking at the roots. I am still absolutely gutted that I broke the growth point off of this one. It was ages ago now. So I keep checking to see if there's anything else going on. Any other growth points waking up? There doesn't seem to be. But regardless, I'm just loving these dark leaves. I just think they're so beautiful. Like, I'm sorry, how gorgeous is that gloss? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm also sorry because my hand is very shaky. But it's just so stunning. The leaf shape is really interesting. I really like the shape of this one. Let me see if I can show you those roots. Look at the roots coming in. It's just so different to all of my other anthuriums. Really interesting. On the topic of anthuriums that are really different to my other anthuriums, I have my Anthurium pallidiflorum here. This has definitely been a favourite, and often with my favourites it's because there's a new leaf come in, and there is on this one, if I lift this leaf up, you may or may not be able to see there's a new growth point. The leaf is poking out. I'm excited. I'm so excited to see it. So, I mean, obviously this leaf is dying. It's gonna go, that's fine. This leaf was the one that it came with when I imported it. This was one from Equigenera. It has got a bit of discoloration there, which is a little bit worrying. It has been really cold here again, and I just feel like everybody's struggling with it, including me. So yeah, this was the leaf that came as it was imported, so it had already started coming out, so I can't really take credit for it. And then that was one. And then this one came out completely in my care. It's got a teeny little rip in it, a little bit like funky shaped, and I think that's because it dried out whilst this one was kind of like hardening off and unfurling. This one was the second one that came out completely in my care, and I'm really enjoying. They're getting like little tiny lobes, which is adorable. It had, when it was unfurling, it got stuck like in its little like roll up phase, and when I unstuck it, it has these little dents, and I just love just love that leaf. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what the next one will look like. They're all fairly similar sizes. I think this one looks ridiculous, like it's like, so I'm hoping that the new one that comes out carries on looking like these, and they just keep like, what's the word I'm looking for, dangling. We'll go with dangling. They just keep dangling in this really lovely, attractive way. This one has some pretty cool roots coming in too. It does have a really big, what's the word, water reservoir layer, because it does dry out. Well, it's not that it, I mean, it does dry out if it doesn't have that, but it seems to be quite a thirsty plant. Like it likes to be more wet than the majority of my plants are. If you know me and you hang out on my channel a bit, you will know that I'm an underwaterer. So when I repotted this one a little while ago, I made sure to give it a really deep water reservoir layer, because I can just fill it up and kind of forget about it like I normally do with my plants, but I know it's not going to suffer for it. So yeah, really enjoying watching that new leaf come in. Really excited about it. I'm hoping it's going to be a big one. The size of the caterpillar doesn't fill me with hope, but I'm happy to be surprised by it. And my final January favourite plant before we do the updates is my Anthurium peltigerum, and again I feel like this could be one that is reoccurring on my favourites list. And if you watched the plant drawers and chat video part 2, you'll have seen the moment I spotted that there are roots growing in here, because I've just, when I imported it, I'd done like a little bit of research into looking after them. I've heard they're really, really difficult and I was really worried, because I want it to be so happy with me, and I've heard that they kind of like, they can hold their leaves for quite a while without any roots, so I was really anxious to see root growth, and I'm just so freaking pleased to see the root growth. I'll show you up close in a minute. Could probably, I don't know, the water reservoir is dry but the substrate looks wet, so do I put more water in there? I don't know. I'm really anxious about what to do with this one. Like, I feel like I can't trust my gut with it, because normally I'm like, no, the substrate's really wet, I'll leave it a little bit longer before I fill up the water reservoir, and I'm like, but I want it to be happy. I don't know what to do. Really questioning my my gut feeling. But yeah, I'm just obsessed. I'm constantly looking at this new leaf that it came with. It does look like the tip's drying slightly, which makes me a bit anxious. Like, does it need higher humidity than it's getting? Like, the cabinet's reading 69% at the moment, and the door's open and has been for a while. Like, it doesn't seem to get much lower than 65%, I don't think, in there. Like, surely that's not humid enough for you? I'm going to show you up close. So these are what the new roots are looking like now. This was one that was imported with it, so these ones have maybe grown off of that one, I'm not sure. And then here we've got another one, and I did notice when I was just talking to you then that there's, oh my god, what are my fingers doing? Can you see that little like pink yellow It's not focusing on it, is it? You see this little yellow bit there? That's an aerial root that's starting to grow out. Here is what the new leaf is looking like. Oh, that's not really focusing, is it? I'm sorry. I'm not going to get it to focus. I'm intrigued to see if it'll be a bigger or like similar size leaf to these. But that little browning tip makes me a little bit worried. I don't think it's going to have a point. If it ever does unfurl. I'm losing a little bit of patience. When did I get these? I think it was November, so I don't know. I really hope that the focus is doing the focusing on this video and it's not blurry. It is a really dreary day and I know it struggles a little bit to like pick up detail when it's blurry, so I hope it's okay. So those are my favourite plants of January, and how I kind of choose them is there'll be plants that I've been drawn to throughout January, that I've like been checking in with a lot, that I've noticed some new growth on, that I'm just enjoying looking at. So I mean, a lot of my plants could always be in my favourites videos, but I don't want to bore you with the same plants every single month. So I do try to choose different ones that I've noticed that I've been a bit more drawn to, and I feel like, I don't know, did I do that today? But like eventually you'll just be able to like guess what my favourite plants are going to be. Anyway, we're going to move on to the updates now. I'm going to put the plants back in their homes, and then yeah, I'm going to show you some updates I've had throughout January. The first update I wanted to give you was of my original houseplant, really. I've had this guy for so long. It's put out 3 leaves since early December, so there are 3 plants in here, and that's why it's put out 3 leaves. But that one up there is a new one and it's incredibly amazing. I'm going to try and get my hand next to it. Ooh, can you see okay? It's stunning. I love it. And then this one's been the next one. Obviously still very much floppy and can grow a little bit more. And then there is this one coming out right now. And I'm really aware that this other plant is like resting on that petiole, and I'm concerned that it's preventing it from reaching its full potential. So I keep thinking I need to kind of strap it up in a different way to try and pull that plant away from that new petiole that's growing, but it's kind of on my to-do list today. I'll see if I end up doing it. What other updates do I want to give you? I probably could have included my variegated spiral ginger in my favourites this month. I'm just really, really enjoying the way it's growing right now. Like, this section is not focusing. God, these dark days. This section's just stunning. Like, this bit is looking beautiful. Focus. Like, it's just not focusing. Ugh. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this plant right now. So pretty. How stunning is that? Like, isn't it just gorgeous? There is this section here that is like completely green, so that will grow ridiculously tall and I'll end up chopping it off. I think I probably need to chop a lot of it down actually, but I just, oh, it's stunning. Really, really love it. It's definitely thirsty. It's got some crispy bits. So this morning I spotted, this is my Anthurium the Arge. I spotted that new leaf. I hope it's focusing. I can't tell because it's high up. This new leaf, this little bit here was stuck, so I helped it out. I unstuck it and hopefully that'll grow into a beautiful leaf. I'm really aware that my Philodendron Brazil that's behind it is really thirsty. I will water it. It's just so out of reach. I know there's a lot of like yellow and crisping in here. I am pretty sure it is because it's just been so cold. Like, I mean, you can see that the hygrometer says 17.1 degrees at the moment. And that's probably about as high as it gets at the moment. There have been times when it's hit like 13 degrees. Like, yeah, 13, 14. It kind of hits that overnight. So every night it's dropping down to those temperatures. And I know these plants don't like it. And I can see that they're struggling. But I don't want the heating on overnight. It'll be too hot for me. And also it'll cost a lot of money. So I just... yeah, we're all struggling. So we've definitely got some like yellowing going on up there. We're losing some leaves here. I mean, this is an old leaf, so I'm not massively worried or surprised by it. There's a bit of yellowing happening on the end here. Yeah, like just not the happiest cabinet right now, but there's also new leaves. So that there thing here is a new leaf on my Anthurium villanorum, which is this plant. So the Anthurium villanorum is either like, I don't know, I mean, if it was really stressed, it'd probably be pushing out a flower, wouldn't it, as opposed to a new leaf. So it can't be too unhappy. I don't know. I just feel like I love everything in this cabinet so much, and I just can't, like, I can't look after it at the moment. I haven't got the right kind of environment for it. I've just turned you around to talk to you. Realised I was just sat there like waffling about my cabinet. And I could probably just like talk to you directly. So yeah, I feel like there are lots of things struggling in the cabinet at the moment. There are some yellowing leaves, and like, yeah, it is winter, there's less light, there's a myriad of reasons as to why these plants are going to be struggling. I'm just trying to kind of figure it out, and I know that I've not been like fertilizing very well, so I have ordered some new fertilizers and some new things I want to try out. If you saw my January 2023 like goals video, part of that was to learn more about fertilizers and like the nutrients that plants need. So like, I'm starting that journey, but I feel like I'm starting with my plants struggling. So we'll see. Like, I keep telling myself that, you know, plants have cycles too. They're not always going to look the same. They're not always going to look perfect. They do experience seasons in my house. Like, not everyone will have pigeon. Not everyone will have plants that experience seasons. Like, if you have a really consistent environment for your plants, like in a grow tent or something, then they're not going to experience seasons. They should probably look similar all the time, but mine definitely do experience seasons because I have seasons. Because they're not in like a controlled environment. They are just on shelves or in my cabinet, in my living room. And as I've said a million times before, the cabinet is not, it's not that dissimilar to the environment outside of the cabinet. So yeah, they're definitely experiencing how cold it is at the moment. That was a lot of waffle for the end of a video. Okay, I think that's probably going to be it for this video. I'm sorry there wasn't that many updates. I feel like I've just like sat in front of my cabinet and I feel a little bit sad about the state of everything that's in there. Not that it looks awful. It doesn't look awful. It could definitely be worse, but I just feel like we're all struggling to get through the last little bit of winter. And when you're watching this, it is the 1st of February, which is, I'm excited. I'm so excited for it to be February, because then it'll be March and it'll be spring, and hopefully the plants and me will be feeling that spring vibe. I can't wait. I freaking love spring. So if you've made it this far and you aren't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. There is that little bell button that you can press to receive notifications for whenever I upload. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up as well. It really helps YouTube to know that my content is enjoyable, and then they push it out to more people, which I really appreciate. And also, if you give it a thumbs up, it just lets me know that you quite enjoy this content. You could also give it a thumbs down. I guess I'll know that you didn't enjoy it, and I suppose that's helpful for me too. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye.